Well, it's definitely earned me more money. Just like Decatur, they were paying 70 cents more for summer corn there in August. We were hauling corn 100 mile for 40 cents, and we're making 30 cents, and I wouldn't even known that price was probably on there. I wouldn't have thought of calling Decatur, but when you go to the Grower's Edge page, then it takes all that running around out of it for you.
Good afternoon, welcome to GrainTV. It's July 22nd, 2014. I'm Logan Burgess. To my right here is my good friend Cody Bills to help break down the trade action that we saw in Chicago. We had grains off across the board. Corn was down 3 3/4 on the December contract. We had old crop beans off 6 1/2. New crop surging lower today, down 13 3/4. Chicago wheat was off 5 1/2 cents. Cody, a lot of the trade chatter today was circulating around that November soybean contract. Kind of break down what we saw in today's trade.
Yeah, relative weakness there, but really we started off the morning very positive here. I know that we had some positive sales for soy meal and soy oil. 225,000 metric tons sold to unknown destinations for new crop soy meal. 180,000 metric tons of new crop soy meal sold to Vietnam, and then 20,000 metric tons of soy oil to unknown destinations, all for new crop. So we started out positive here. I know yesterday during the trade, we really found a bottom right around 1065 and rallied up into the close. Today, we ended up gapping higher here this morning, I think partly on some of that news here. We ended up trading higher for a little bit, really the first 5 minutes, and then from there on out, it was selling pressure the remainder part of the day.
Right.
It was interesting when we got back down around that 1067, 1065 area, an area that we've been talking about. We really started to see some serious selling pressure. That's something that we wrote about this morning in our morning commentary, is that if we go back down to those levels and we retest that 1065, it's likely that we're going to break and go lower. That's exactly what happened, and we impulse lower very, very sharply. In a quarter of a second, we ended up trading about 2,600 contracts lower. So it was very sharp, and not only did we trade down very sharply, we bounced back a little bit, and we were met with even more selling pressure. So we've closed below that key support level. Right. I think if you are long some call options here, you might want to consider taking them off the table and letting this thing kind of bleed a little bit lower. You might be able to pick them up cheaper later on.
Yeah, absolutely. Very negative day in general here for the soybean market. We'll have to see what tomorrow brings. Really, from a fundamental standpoint, the next big news for the bean market is going to be the export sales report on Thursday. But the last couple of days here, we've come in the office and seen those large sales of soybeans or soy oil or meal here to start the trade session. So with prices falling rapidly, it does look like we are seeing some international interest. We'll have to see if that continues on Thursday in that export sales report. Kind of staying here on the international front, we did get a report out today from the USDA attaché out of Ukraine, basically giving an update here to the situation. And if you take a look here at this map, the area circled in red is where we're seeing intense military activity. The red dot here is where the plane went down last Thursday that caught a lot of attention. And the red star here is the key grain exporting facility of Odessa. And obviously, we've talked about it a lot here on GrainTV. The big focus for the wheat market in particular is, are we going to see major export reductions out of Ukraine here? From the USDA report today, they said that export sales are off to a great start here to start the marketing year, and harvest pace is progressing quite rapidly, with the exception of acres out in eastern Ukraine, where things have slowed down a little bit. So in general, I guess today's USDA report wasn't new information for the market, but more confirmation really of the price action that we've seen, where we saw a little bounce last week as a result of that downed airplane. Ever since then, we've seen some pretty intense selling in the Chicago wheat complex.
Absolutely. And you know, Egypt's GASC out today here looking for 55 to 60,000 metric tons of wheat. And on that list, included in the tender here, was Ukraine and Russian wheat. We also saw 60,000 metric tons looking for wheat or milling wheat. And also, again, we see Ukraine and Russia on that list here. So it doesn't seem to be really affecting those exports in that region.
Right, absolutely. You know, as we come down the pipe here this week for the grain market, we are going to be getting ethanol numbers out tomorrow. We're going to have to see if substantially lower corn prices continue to support strong production. That's been kind of a theme here over the last couple weeks. And then, as I said, on a Thursday, we'll be getting the export sales report. If you have any questions about what we discussed here on the show, or want to take a look at our great mobile trading platform, which enables you to view live quotes out of Chicago, monitor your positions, and place trades from your iPhone, iPad, Android, or tablet, visit grainhedge.com or give us a call at the office, 877-472-4607. Thanks a lot for tuning in here for Grain TV on a Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow.